2022 was an interesting year. From moving all over the place and having investments go right and wrong, 2022 was a year where I learned so many valuable lessons that I truly believe will help you grow in your business. So what I did is I categorized everything that I learned and I broke it down into 5 lessons. The first lesson is only focus on the things that you love. For a good portion of 2022, I was going down a path of pursuing things that I wasn't passionate about. You may have noticed a switch in my content style, and that's because I was going down a path with YouTube where I was just doing everything algorithm based. I was trying to find videos that would do the best, but really I was talking about topics and ideas that just didn't interest me at all. So what I did is I completely changed around my strategy when it came to YouTube, and now what I'm doing is I'm only shooting content that I'm actually passionate about and that I'm confident and happy to make every single time I sit down and start creating a film. But of course, we're all dropshippers here, and the next thing that I was working on when it came to following my passions and the things that I love is actually in dropshipping. So you've all seen my past videos, I'm sure, where you've seen me blow up products, taking them to $500,000, $600,000 per month, crazy numbers, thousands of dollars per day. But the thing about that was it was something that I enjoyed doing, but it had such a high effect and then it would die off. And there really was no feeling of longevity or building something. The thing about traditional dropshipping where you just pick a product, make it blast off, make a bunch of money with it, and then it dies, is you really don't actually build anything that could go long term. So what ended up happening with me is I started to get that feeling of almost like, what's the point of this? This really ties into the example that money isn't everything, because with dropshipping, the traditional way, 100%, I could just go out there, run a product, make a bunch of money, and then go to the next one. And that's something that I continued to do throughout 2022 until I got to a point where I was just like, you know what? Let's switch this around. I really want to start working on something that I had experimented in the past, and that was building out a long-term brand. Building something long-term is better than quick money. This is something that a lot of people will state to you, but they won't actually follow, and I know this because this is me. Me a couple years ago would have told you that money is everything and you got to pursue money. This is something that I really struggled with when I was letting go of traditional dropshipping last year, because I know full well that I could just go out there and launch a product and make a bunch of money. It's a skill set that I've built up and I know, but it's something that's just taking time and effort and energy away from the thing that I'm trying to build now. Because now everything, all of my effort and all of my time is completely focused on my long-term goals. Now, the thing about long-term goals is they can be scary. When I started down the path of actually building brands, instead of just running dropshipping stores, there was a lot of upfront investment. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this was a scary moment. This is something where I started investing in the company and it gradually was growing. But of course, at the beginning stages, I was investing more than we were making. Even though we were burning money and we were losing money, I was still increasing the amounts that we were losing, because there's this pivotal point, this like unique little point within a company or with a product where you'll hit a tipping point and eventually the profits will outweigh the investment, and then you have a positive cash flow machine. But it takes a lot of guts, it takes a lot of grit, because you really don't know how things are gonna turn out. And the entire bet that you're making is on yourself. Carefully pick the big plays you make. The reason why you want to be careful on the big plays that you're making is because every single big play that you make, especially as you get farther into the business game, these big plays have a trickle effect. Now, why I state this is because when it comes to these big projects or these big plays that you choose to invest in, you really need to look at it in terms of not just money, instead also look at it in terms of time. If you make a decision to invest your time, energy, and money into something, and then you decide it's not the right route to go and you're gonna pivot, a lot of people are not the best at changing their mind or redirecting their energy and their money. So what ends up happening, and it happened to me, is I ended up having a 3-month trickle effect. A lot of people, when they come to big decisions, whether it's in their personal life or in their business, these trickle effects can sometimes last 5 months, 1 year, some people 2 years. I've had people that have had trickle effects that have lasted 5 years because of the big decisions or the big plays that they've made in their personal life or their business, which is why I developed a strategy and a plan to implement action as fast as possible. What this means is whenever I go and I enter into a big play or a big decision, I'm confident in my exit strategy. I'm confident in my choice of when it's time to leave and when it's time to walk away.
How much for your exit sign?
Now, does that mean I'm a quitter or I'm planning to quit? Absolutely not. But what it does mean is when I'm at a point where I know full well I shouldn't be there anymore, I shouldn't be invested in a project anymore, I will exit that investment within a second decision. As opposed to the person I was a year ago where I had these trickle effects, I had lack of confidence, and there was periods where I would not make decisions, and this just resulted in even more problems and even more headaches. So be particular about who enters into your circle. This one's really interesting because over the past year, I've had a lot of unique experiences with different people within my circle. But the thing about your circle and the people that you associate yourself with, and in particular, the people you have to associate with, which is a big distinction, even if they don't have ill intentions, or even if they're not trying to be mean or malicious, they can come in with an energy that can throw off your rhythm and can throw off the direction that you're going, completely blindsiding you because it's not a direct attack. The thing about this situation is you're going to be so caught up in the moment that there's a high likelihood you're not going to notice right away. So that's why what I did over the past year is I've separated people into acquaintances and direct contact. Acquaintances are people where quite literally, if I feel like they're messing with my vibe, I'll just cut them off to the point where they become so removed from my personal circle that they have absolutely no effect. Then it comes to the direct contact people. And these are typically going to be direct friends, family, maybe even spouses or loved ones. These are the types of people where you really need to be careful because you may not be able to just remove them from your circle. Of course, this is something where it becomes a little bit more difficult because you're forced to be around them. What that means is you have to develop strategies and structures for these type of people that limit the interaction that you have with them and protect yourself in those key moments where you feel like you're vulnerable and your spirit or your energy is being attacked or removed or even just clouded. One of the biggest things that people can do without even trying, it's not even their fault, is they'll cloud your judgment or they'll cloud your decision making. And this is something that can happen because of your own doing. So trust the process and don't give up. This is something that I'm going to really be talking about more over the next coming year because I'm going to be displaying a lot of different structures to do with brand building and actually building long-term dropshipping stores. So still using the dropshipping business model, but to build a brand and to build a product line. And this one's really important when it comes to this type of business structure because you have to trust the process. Now, if you want to learn from these lessons and also engage with me more, you can join my free dropshipping community link down below, and make sure you stick around and check out some of my other videos because I'm going to be showing you how to run Google ads and build long-term brand structures for your dropshipping business.